This is part 4 of the design process, all about design bids. And yes, design bids are extremely important to protect you as the homeowner. Now let's talk about design bids and why they are important. So a designer will write you a contract. Typically they'll email it to you. And it's a proposal, a professional proposal to design your landscape. Now you might be thinking, I don't need a contract. Why do I need a contract? Well, there's actually many reasons why it behooves you to get a contract. First of all, the contract will have a list of what the designer is providing for you. They're doing concept drawings, maybe taking you to a nursery to look at plant materials, doing detailed drawings of your landscape, referring contractors to you, placing plant material, helping you with purchase of plant material. Whatever it is they're providing will all be listed in detail in each of the contracts. And the contract will probably have some legal mumbo jumbo to protect the designer and you. But what the contract also has, which is very important, is a price tag. That lump sum price tag is what the designer will charge you for his or her time. Now this means once you've signed the contract, that price tag is what you pay. So let's say, for example, the designer decides to charge you $1,500. And the designer says, oh, well, you know what, it actually cost me $2,000. So what? You signed a contract agreeing to pay $1,500, and that is the most you are legally obligated to pay the designer. Now, on the flip side of it, when you sign a contract, what you are telling that designer is, yes, I am genuinely serious about working with you and your services. And I'm not going to screw you over. Because designers like myself, we don't do these landscape designs just as a hobby or something to do for fun. This is what we do to pay the mortgage and eat. And just like you need to be able to pay your mortgage and eat, so do we. So the design contract is important. That protects you from getting screwed and the designer. It's a win-win for everybody. And then you can say to your friends and family, I hired a professional. I didn't dick around and hire some mow and blow Joe Schmo. I actually hired a professional. Now there is the slightly touchy subject sometimes of how much should you be paying the designer. And I will tell you, some designers don't necessarily all charge the same. But usually when the designers do charge for their services, they give you one lump sum number. They themselves internally have calculated it's going to take X number of hours to do whatever task it is they're doing for your garden. X number of dollars per hour. Each designer charges somewhat differently per hour, but they're all roughly between $100-ish, give or take, per hour. But for an average yard, let's say an average small yard, you'll probably at the minimum spend at least $1,000. Now if you have a big yard with maybe a half an acre to an acre of landscape, you might spend closer to $5,000, maybe more. It all depends. How much a designer will charge you for their services depends on the amount of space you have and the amount of time it's going to take. If you've got an acre of landscape, obviously designing that acre is going to take more time than designing a 200 square foot garden. And if it's going to take more time, it's going to cost more money than the 200 square foot garden. And you might be thinking, well, maybe I'll negotiate with the designer and say, hey, look, you know, times are tough, times are this, I have this stuff going on, I have that stuff going on. Honey, all designers, everyone has stuff going on. Now maybe the designer will be nice and say, all right, look, we'll give you a 10% discount. But if you're looking to get a $2,000 design for $1,000, chances are that designer or any other designer won't do it. Because then who pays the extra $1,000 of work? Each designer charges according to what it's realistically going to cost them. Remember, you're hiring a professional. You're hiring someone that's highly skilled and trained at their craft.